everyone. Welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It is so nice to see everybody today. I don't see you yet, but I'm sure you'll be trickling in. I also want to remind everyone before we get started, if you want to conversate with me or our guest today, Ashley, who, by the way, is phenomenal, and you guys will see that when you get to hear and talk to her, make sure you go to our Unapologetically Me page on Facebook, or you can tune in from YouTube, our YouTube channel, which is the Philadelphia Women's Network Connection, and you can connect with us there. So this way we can see your comments. Ashley can answer, I can answer, all that good stuff. And good afternoon to everybody. So today is a special Tuesday, not like every other Tuesday. Today is Giving Tuesday. So for those of you who do not know what Giving Tuesday is all about, it is a global thing. Today is your opportunity to give back to a nonprofit that you believe in, that you support. Ashley's nonprofit, Fearless Movement, is one of the nonprofits that we support and we believe in. She's doing some phenomenal, phenomenal stuff in her organization that you'll get to hear about. So hopefully you guys will support her today as well. But again, it's not about me. It's not about Ashley. It's about the people that we serve. Ashley serves the little people. I serve the women in business. So it's about helping them in their business, helping with our cause. So I am saying to you today, and I don't mind asking because, again, it's not about me. If we have worked with you in the past, if we have supported you of any kind of way, please support us today. Our link is on my Facebook page, Felicia Spivey Shankin. You can go in there, you can donate anywhere from $5 up to $500. Give up that cup of coffee today or bag of potato chips. Know that your $5 or your $2 or your $10 is going towards a great cause. So make sure that you give today, that you support those organizations out there that are doing some great things. You have until midnight tonight. Facebook will be matching dollar for dollar today. So what is ever raised in our organizations, they will double it. So make sure you support the cause. So now we are going to be bringing on this young lady, Ashley, who, by the way, I am just in awe of. I remember when I came across her organization, I fell in love with her. I fell in love with her mission, what she's doing. And again, she is one of the organizations that we support. So without further ado, everyone, please help me welcome Ashley. Hey, Ashley.
Hello, Felicia. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to connect with you today, to connect with everyone that's joining us. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And again, I just want to remind everyone, if you're putting comments on my personal Facebook page, we will not see it. So make sure you go to Unapologetically Me, our page, and then you'll be able to post your comments there. So this young lady, first of all, this millennial who is only 24 years old, is doing some amazing things. And hey, Judy, good afternoon. Some amazing things in her organization. Ashley, tell everyone, first of all, how did the vision come about of Fearless Movement?
Yes. So I was diagnosed with epilepsy at 13 years old. For years, I battled with uncontrolled seizures. For those who don't know what epilepsy is, it's a neurological disorder in your brain that causes you to have reoccurrent seizures. And those seizures can look like anything, whether it's someone who is staring off into space or someone falling to the ground and having a grand mal seizure, shaking, and is not conscious of what's going on. And so those are the seizures that I had, tonic-clonic seizures. So with that being said, I would have those seizures anywhere, whether it was in school, at church, with my family. Wherever it was extremely embarrassing for me to wake up and to not know where I was, to have fear overwhelm me. And this happened multiple times a month. There were times that I would have at least one seizure a week. And it was just extremely challenging for me. So for years, I battled with uncontrolled seizures. I battled with the fear that came along with it, being embarrassed. I was bullied as a young girl. So I was fearing that I would be bullied again, this time for seizures. And those fears turned into so much more. It turned into anxiety. It turned into depression, to the point where I didn't want to live a life full with fear. I actually was hospitalized for a night for depression. And that was when I remembered the verse that my mom would pray over me as I would wake up from my seizures in fear. And that is, for God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but of love, of power, and of a sound mind.
Mm,
So that when I was laying in that hospital room, I heard my mom crying to God and praying that again.
mm,
And that was when I realized I allowed fear to win. And fear brought me to the hospital room. So, long story short, I went home that night, later that night, after talking to the doctor, sharing that I did want to live a life. I just didn't want to live with the fear that I had anymore. And I sought help. I spoke up. Finally, your voice matters. So if you're going through anxiety, depression, fear, whatever it may be, seek help because your voice does matter. And when I spoke up, I received that help. I received healthy coping mechanisms. And months later, I realized that I wasn't alone. And
mm.
more people needed to know they weren't alone, whether it was fear, epilepsy, mental health conditions. So I was like, what can I do? I want to start like a movement. And honestly, I wish I could tell you how Fearless movement came like to my mind. It just did. So I said, let's start like Fearless movement. I was a senior in high school. I went to my principal, asked her if we could do a volleyball tournament to raise funds for epilepsy awareness and research. That's what started it all, a small volleyball tournament with my high school of only like 500 students. I came from Glassboro, small school, but that's what
Wow.
started it all. And now reaching my small school to reaching over 100,000 people nationwide virtually is incredible. So that's what happens when you speak up and you use your voice and you turn your pain into purpose.
You know what? I love everything you just said. No wonder our spirits found one another. You know, I always say kindred spirits. And having coming from a medical background and a nurse, I understand about how dilapidating those grand mal seizures can
Mm,
be.
yeah.
You know, they're just horrible. And the terrible thing about it is when you're having those seizures, you can't do anything about it. You have to almost like let the person just go through that seizure, turn them
Yeah.
on their side, of course, but just let them go through that seizure until it's done. So it's horrible. So I heard that you had said Fearless movement came about like a vision, which most of these ideas, the same thing I tell people about the Philadelphia Women's Network Connection, that came to me in a Panera Bread as a vision.
I
I know, of all places.
love it. I know. And I love Panera Bread.
Yes, yes. So let everybody know. I know what it is that you do. This is why we support you. We will continue to support you. I love your mission. I love your cause. Let everyone know now that we know how Fearless Movement came about, what it is that you do in Fearless Movement.
Yes. So Fearless Movement's a 501c3 epilepsy and mental health advocacy nonprofit organization. So what that means is that we advocate and provide free programs for our youth battling fear. We provide free treatment and therapy and support services for all who battle epilepsy, mental health conditions, and overall fearful hardships as they arise within the community. So when the pandemic hit, we had a COVID-19 response of providing food boxes for low-income families or disadvantaged families that were battling hardships, art empowerment packages, art therapy packages that were sent nationwide to homes all over to provide a creative outlet that could release stress, could release tension, provide joy and relief in a time of adversity. So we have been able to expand in so many different areas. We also provide scholarships for youth battling fearful hardships when it comes to finances and furthering their education, their college education. And it's been incredible to see the triumphs that
Mhm.
our youth have experienced because of people like you who choose to give, people like the organizations like Philly's Women's Network Connections. Like,
Mhm.
we can't do this without our incredible community. So today, Giving Tuesday, it truly is. It's not about me. It's not about Felicia, but it's about the people that we serve, like she
Right.
said. And it's about when incredible organizations come together, incredible change is ignited that truly lasts. So Felicia, I just want to say thank you because we could not do this without Philadelphia Women's Network Connections. And Philly's Women's Network Connections has supported us in a multitude of ways. The Art Empowerment Program, you have supported us from the beginning when we first connected. You helped us provide a free virtual art step-by-step paint night. And then just recently, they have helped us put on a fashion show, our second annual fashion show, honoring our ICU nursing staff at Jefferson Hospital for the way they combat fear. So we can't do it without incredible organizations like yours.
Well, thank you. And I hope that more organizations get involved. Now, you just said something that led into something where I'm going to go now. You were talking about the fashion show, and you had the fashion show, I believe it was in October, correct?
It was in November,
In
beginning
November.
of November.
Okay, I'm sorry. And I love the idea behind the fashion show. And tell people what the fashion show was about and who were some of your models in the fashion show.
Yeah, so about right before the pandemic, it was the fall before everything went down. We kicked off our first annual Strut for Fearless Futures. So the mission was for every woman in attendance to leave knowing that to be beautiful is to be you. That was the motto. So they were strutting for multiple causes that they wanted to see Fearless Futures in. And when we wanted to do this again this year, I thought, I want to celebrate and honor heroes that combat fear every single day, and that is the frontline heroes within healthcare,
Mhm,
and that's the ICU nurses at Jefferson Hospital.
mhm.
And personally, I lost my grandfather last year to COVID-19, and the ICU nursing staff that we honored and celebrated, they um, they made such a significant impact in my life, in my grandpa's life, in my grandmom's
Mhm,
life. And I know we're not the only family that were
mhm.
impacted by them. They risked their own health to combat our family's fears, to combat his fears. And so every single nurse that took the runway were able to strut for a cause that they wanted to see Fearless Futures in. So there were many who strut for cancer. There were many who strut for mental illnesses, those who lost loved ones due to the pandemic. So there were so many different incredible causes that they said we want to combat fear in and bring awareness today. And each woman was also gifted an outfit by H&M from Cherry
Oh,
Hill. So
nice.
H&M was an incredible wardrobe sponsor, and we were able to just give them the royal treatment, I guess you could say, to thank them.
You know what? And that's awesome. You made their day, and out of them helping your grandpa, who I know you love very, very much. I remember when you lost him, what you were going through. It was very emotional,
Yeah.
but also the news was able to pick up your cause with what you were doing for the hospital, but you've been in the news, you've been everywhere. You've been everywhere. And I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that you're only 24 years old. So you have an old spirit, a giving spirit. But what's exciting though in Fearless Movement, your mom is also a partner with you in Fearless
Yes.
Movement.
Yes, my mom. So now again, while we were actually quarantined, we battled with COVID as well. And during quarantine, my mom and I were stuck in a room for 3 weeks, not two, 3 weeks. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for joining us too. So we were stuck in a room for 3 weeks, not 2 weeks. For some
Wow.
reason, we thought like we would be good in 2 weeks, but then we tested positive still the third week. And we were like, how did this happen? So it's
Wow.
a small room. Imagine a small room and two people being in there, and you share every meal with them, and you really can't do much, and you're isolated into one room. That was us. So we were making the best of it, watching Gilmore Girls, and then we were also just talking about our dreams. And we have a love for women. My mom is a pastor,
Mhm.
and we just have I've grown up in Bible studies with women, and I was like, we want to do something to empower and equip women to rise above their fears. So we started a sister organization, a Fearless Movement called Fearless Women Ministries. And now we host monthly gatherings on a Saturday. They're free for all women to feel heard, loved, seen, and chosen. And we just celebrate one another. We have fellowship, we have breakfast, we have worship, and an incredible word that leaves you feeling more empowered than when you first came.
You know what? That's awesome. That's awesome. Like I said, you're just a mover and a shaker. Every time I see you, you're doing something out in the community. You're all about community. You are very community driven. You know, there's a lot of people that talk the talk, but not a lot of people that walk the walk. And you definitely do the talking and you do the walking. And I've seen you in action, and it's all about your community, which is what I love. So now moving up forward a little bit. Tell us about this, Miss America organization that you're involved with. What's going on there? Tell us what's going on.
Yes, I'd love to. So since I was a little girl, my Pop-Up would come over. This is another Pop-Up. My mom's dad, I called them
Okay.
both Pop-Up. My mom's dad would come over every day after school. And this was when I was actually bullied. I was bullied for my appearance growing up. And I would come home and he was my best friend. He'd bring tasty cakes and I was bullied for my weight. So sometimes we'll joke and be like, it was his fault. He fed me the tasty cakes, but we had tasty cakes. He helped me with my homework. And then I'd go into in the other room where the piano was and I would just play the piano, play a new song that my dad taught me. And I would come back into the room and my grandpa would say to me, that wasn't you playing, like messing around with me, making jokes. And then he would look over to my mom and say, Jean, she's going to play that on the Miss America stage one day. So
Wow.
he instilled that dream in me since I was little. And then when I became a senior in high school, after founding Fearless Movement and running a few different fundraisers, I realized the Miss America organization is a launching pad for women to be an activist, to ignite change in their community, and also receive scholarships while doing so. So when I discovered that, I was like, wow, this is an avenue I could take. So I started my journey in 2015 competing for the organization. This is now my 4th year going back to Miss New Jersey. You have to win a local competition first. And I've won over $7,000 in scholarships. I am debt free with only 1 year left to obtaining my bachelor's degree in psychology. And I'm just so blessed by this organization because it has empowered me and has given me boldness to walk into boardrooms, to provide pitches for our community partnership program for Fearless Movement, to further our impact. And because of them, I have furthered Fearless Movement's impact. And we've served over 2,000 individuals within last year alone. And I believe a lot of that is thanks to this organization for the courage and the strength and the resilience that they have given me.
Yeah, you know what? Most people see Miss America and they see the glamour. They see you coming out on stage, they see you doing that, but they don't know all the things that they're doing behind the scene, which is
Yes.
some of the things that you just told us, because I had no idea that they were doing all of that. So
Yes.
and look at your pop, it was the one that spoke it into existence.
He did. He did. And I was like, okay, sure, that's going to happen. And I was young. I was 10 years old, but he just kept saying it and saying it. And I remembered that as a senior in high school and looked into the organization. And I was like, okay, we're going to do this.
Yeah, see, I know people can talk things into your life. I had someone on on my show. It wasn't last week; it was the week before, and this gentleman was the one that spoke into my life, my podcast. And
Wow.
he didn't even remember that. So when I was on talking to him, I said to him, I said, David, do you remember? And you probably don't. I said, the beginning of 2021, you spoke into my life. You said, Felicia, you need a podcast. And I said to him, oh, you know what? I'll get around to it eventually. And you know what they say, we make plans and God laughs.
Yes.
So I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes. Oh, yeah. God's like, no, you're going this way instead. And
Yeah,
you're like, what
exactly.
am I doing?
Exactly. So now I know you were saying that you guys have all these programs that you offer. I noticed that you do a lot of things with the children. So
Yes.
what are some of the programs that you, I know you mentioned some, but if you had to narrow down out of what you mentioned, like the biggest things that you do, talk about that a little bit.
Yes, definitely. So we have 3 premier programs. One is the Art Empowerment Program, providing free access to the arts for those of all ages, but primarily in our school districts, hospitals, and community groups for children and our youth, to provide a free outlet for anyone to express themselves that breaks communication barriers. Psychological studies prove that access to the arts and activating your creative intelligence will break communication barriers, boost your productivity, make one more successful, release stress, tension, and provide joy and peace in their lives. So all of our programs are backed by psychological studies. That one was by Berkeley University. So we have expanded that within the past 2 years, reaching, I want to say, over 1,000 people through the Art Empowerment Program. And then the other 2 programs go hand in hand. One is the anti-bullying campaign. And then the other one is the Share Your Story campaign. So anti-bullying campaign, I mean, the name tells it, and it's basically, it's combating bullying within our schools, boosting self-esteem within our youth, sharing with them that they are enough, sharing real life stories that they can connect with, that they're not just saying, okay, this is another teacher, but they can't relate with us. And that's what I love about our schools, is that our teachers want to relate with their students and show them that they're not alone in what they're going through. And that's who we've partnered with, is teachers and educators and schools, to share real life stories with these students. I've shared my story of being bullied, but it's providing leadership skills for these students to know, okay, your story has purpose. You can become an advocate for the pain that you've experienced. And also, you're not what other people tell you that you are. You define who you are. And I think that's the biggest aspect of it all, is that we are not defined by our circumstances. We get to choose how our future goes. And that is what we focus on in our anti-bullying campaign, is to show them that they're not alone in what they're facing. And we share about how to rise above your fears. And then the Share Your Story campaign is using your story as a catalyst for change. So how to become an advocate, how to become a leader, how to ignite change in your community. And we do that through different programs within our schools and after school programs.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. I love it. Great programs. Like I said, I'm very passionate about children. I'm very passionate about animals. I already told my husband, I said, when I die, all my money is going to children and animals. That's it. That's it.
I love animals. I miss my pup so much, but that
Oh, I
that
know.
just, like, they're your best friend, and they bring so much comfort to your life.
They become part of your family. My husband and I, we don't have children, so we have a fur baby. So,
Yes.
they become part of your family. And it's just, I always say they're people with fur. That's
Yes.
basically
Oh, they have attitudes, and just the way that they act, they literally act like little people.
right, exactly. So tell us, I'm gonna put up your website. If you can believe it, it's like we're already at 12:52. If you can believe that,
Oh
right?
my gosh, yeah.
I know, because that's what happens when you're having fun and you're just talking and telling people what's going on. I'm gonna put up your website, but tell us, do you have anything that's coming up, or anything you have planned coming up in the new year that you want us all to know about?
Yes, so we have a few different things coming up. Fearless Women, again, is meeting monthly, and you can visit at Fearless Women. On Facebook, it's at Fearless Women Together, because someone took Fearless Women Ministries, and Instagram is at Fearless Women Ministries. So you can visit fearlesswomenministries.org or fearlessmovement.org to RSVP for our free monthly gatherings, again, to just be empowered and equipped, and also to serve local women in need. We provide those opportunities as well. Around Christmas, we provide a food drive, we assemble food boxes, and we also deliver them. So if you want to get involved in any of those efforts, you can definitely visit fearlessmovement.org and contact us. You can scroll all the way to the bottom and hit the contact portal, and you can contact us through there and just share you want to get involved. You want to volunteer, or you want to give. There are ways to give on our Get Involved portal as well. And there are just so many different ways to get involved. If you go to that, you'll see the ways that you can just empower your community through Fearless Movement, empower those to rise above fear, to acknowledge fear. It's an emotion. So many people think, like, fear, you don't have to feel it. No, you have to feel it. You have to
Mhm.
choose to feel it, because it's an emotion, acknowledge it, and figure out how you're going to overcome that. And that's what we do. We provide ways and tangible tools to overcome our fears and to use it for purpose.
That's awesome. Well, my acronym for fear is forget everything and rise.
Yes, I saw that. I love it. I love all of your posts.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we were talking about that. And one of the things that Ashley was saying to me, because we're both big fans of each other. We are. We are. People get that idea that women can't work together. That's not true.
That's a lie.
Check your circle. Check
Yes.
your circle if you can't work with the women that are in your circle. But I have some wonderful women organizations that I support, that surround. Ashley's Fearless Movement is one of them. Another one is Advocate for Me by Lavon McMillan. She's doing some great things with children, autistic children, in her organization. Hopefully, you two can connect.
Yeah.
Another organization that's great is of the Michelle Snow Foundation. She's doing some amazing. She's on the road to 1 million, to help 1 million businesses with their causes and different things like that. So these are the organizations that you want to support, that you want to help along. Again, it's not about about us. It's not about Ashley. It's not about me. It's not about Laverne. It's not about Michelle. It's about the people that we serve. It's a 360 type of thing. I believe that, we are here. Our purpose in life is to give and to serve. We get it back. We may not get it back from you, but trust me, God watches everything and we get it back at tenfold and then some. And it's always nice to be a blessing to someone else. So, Ashley, before I talk about some announcements here, you being a 24-year-old young woman who is doing some amazing things with the Miss America and organization, with Fearless Movement organization, everything that you're doing, which I love, of course. I'm a huge fan of yours. If there was a young person who was thinking about getting into a business, starting a nonprofit, what advice would you give them?
Don't think, just do. And I I know that sounds so simple, but so many times we get in our heads as humans and we think things are way out of reach and that we can't do it. And we will come up with so many reasons why we can't. But I'm going to tell you one reason why you can. You have a story, and the pain that you have experienced, it can be turned into purpose. And that decision is up to you. So whether that's a business or a nonprofit organization, the Google spacebar, the homepage, is powerful. You can learn anything from home. You can learn anything by the click of a phone or a phone call by just reaching out to someone. And it's just one phone call or one URL search, right? That is a launching pad for everything. So to remember that your story matters. So whatever that story is, whether you've battled anxiety, you've battled fear. Someone told you that you can't growing up in life, whether it's related to business, sports, being successful, those are all lies. And there is another acronym for fear: false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
And that's what fear is. It's a
Mhm.
lie. And so I'm here to tell you that you have a purpose, and that purpose could be shown through your business or it could be shown through a nonprofit organization. I was 17 years old and I was like, I'm going to start a nonprofit. And it was scary. It was fearful, right? And
Mhm.
I'm still fearful at times running this organization. I still feel like, oh Lord, how can I do this?
Mhm.
I have those moments like every month. Okay. But
Mhm.
that's because I'm human. And
Right.
we're going to feel that, but that cannot stop us from propelling ourselves and propelling the mission that God has given us
Mhm.
to impact generations and generations to come. So you have a purpose, it matters, and your story should not go unheard. So dig in, find what your story is. Ask yourself the hard questions. They're worth it and you can do it. I believe in you, Felicia believes in you, and so many other people believe in you. It's not just us, it's our communities as well.
You know what? You're now you see everyone. If you haven't seen, now you see why she is awesome. Why I love her. I will always support her. I could sit here and listen to you all day, Ashley. Because you're real, you're genuine, you're authentic, and I can hear the passion that you have for your organization and the love that you have for the people in your organization. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to bring up some things that's going on here again to remind everyone that today is Giving Tuesday. Every year, I'm going to read every year on Giving Tuesday, millions of people across the globe. So this is just not a Philadelphia, a New Jersey, a Delaware, Washington thing. This is a global thing. They give back and they change their communities. The goal is to create a massive wave of generosity that lasts well beyond the day and touches every person on the planet. So on Giving Tuesday, don't forget to support our cause, PWNC Foundation, Ashley's Cause, Fearless Movement, and thousands of other nonprofit organizations out there that depend on you and your generosity. Today is the best day to give because Facebook is matching dollar for dollar. So you have all day. It started at 8 o'clock this morning until midnight tonight to give again. Whether it's $2, $5, $10, whatever you can give, we appreciate it and we thank you for your support. Also, I want to tell you guys, I don't know if Ashley knows about this, but Amazon has a program for nonprofits. It's called smile.amazon.com. That is another way where you can go in and you can support the PWNC Foundation. I'll put the link on in the comments after the show is done. This way, when you go onto Amazon, and I know all of you shop in Amazon, especially my husband, he's like an Amazon, just him alone, probably from the donations, we probably don't need anyone else. But if you go through the link, it'll come up PWNC Foundation, and then you're able to go in and do your shopping. They have, I think it's 0.5% that they donate back to your organization, a nonprofit, but you have to be a nonprofit. So they donate back. They do that, I think it's 4 times a year, quarterly. So you're able to support someone's nonprofit all year round. So on days like this, on Giving Tuesday, if you don't have the funds or anything, guess what? Just knowing that you're shopping on Amazon will help a cause, help an organization, and help someone in need. So, Ashley, thank you so much for being on the show. Like I said, I could talk to you on and on. I love what you're doing in your organization. Keep shining, keep being a light in this world of so much darkness. Keep sharing love, and just keep doing you. Just keep doing you.
Oh, thank you, Felicia. And I just really want to shout Felicia out real quick, too. The question that she asked me about what you would say to someone who wants to start a business or a nonprofit. Why are you not following Philadelphia's Women's Network Connections? They provide so many resources and a community that supports you. So definitely, if you haven't already, which those who are watching do, but if you haven't already, go ahead and follow them because the resources that they provide are incredible. They have helped me. They help so many women, and that will encourage you to start that business or to start that nonprofit to ignite change that lasts. So thank you, Felicia, for your heart, your mission. I'm just so grateful that we could connect today. So thank you.
Me too. Me too. So I'm going to go and say goodbye to everybody. So I want you to hold on, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, everyone, as you saw and heard, another great show today. I just love my guests. I love my guests, and I love bringing on the millennials who are doing some amazing things in this world. So I say, if you have young people in your life, start training them now, teaching them now, teaching them about finances, teaching them about business, teaching them about things that are going to matter. Don't have them just sitting and watching TV or on the computer constantly on their phone. Talk to your children. Let them know what's going on in the world. Let them know that they can make a difference. So on that note, everyone, I am going to be saying, have a great day. Remember, again, it's Giving Tuesday. Support those organizations that have supported you all year and continue to support you. So make sure that you give back and support them. Have a great day. Take care. Stay safe. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye now.